Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, and welcome to a rant by Travis Semulin Sowers. We got something to talk about today. So you may have heard that Magic is ruined forever and it's going to die. There's a long article here that's talking about Hasbro's earnings, some changes going on in Wizards. What I want to talk about is the introduction of other fantasy IP into Magic. And I want to take a second to talk about that. Because the news that we have, from what I understand, is essentially that we're going to get the D&D core set coming up after the Wizard School set. And it looks like core sets are going to be replaced with this concept of universes beyond. So perhaps core sets are completely replaced with next time they've announced a partnership already with Lord of the Rings and Warhammer 40K. Now, you should know, and I'm showing on the camera here, I'm kind of a big fan of Warhammer 40K and Lord of the Rings. That's the Eye of Sauron and a Chaos Cross. That's IP that I really like. There's a bit of a difference between this and the Godzilla crossovers and the Transformers crossovers that we've seen before, in that those were kind of made as like special sets, cosmetics. They weren't actually part of Magic. And then we got the Walking Dead set that was like, okay, this is now part of Magic. And here is my hot take on this. This is incredibly good for Magic. And if you are against it, you're kind of an idiot. And here's why. But Magic lore has been there forever and it's always been part of the game. Let me read for you some of the earliest Magic lore. The flavor text on Pearled Unicorn. Do you know, I always thought unicorns more fabulous monsters too. I never saw one alive before. Well, now that we've seen each other, said the unicorn, if you'll believe in me, I'll believe in you. Lewis Carroll, Through the Looking Glass. How about Boomerang? Oh, call back yesterday, bid time return. William Shakespeare, King Richard II. When Magic started, there was no IP. There was no world. They made it up later. All of their flavor text used to be from old school literature or just stuff people wrote that sounded cool. It was fine. There's some Magic sets that I love and I'm excited about the flavor of. Amonkhet was one of them. There's others that I don't really get. And that's okay. I just want to play the game. Yeah, they ripped off Arabian Nights, man. Come on. Like Magic's IP lately has been finding a genre or something and then just playing Magic in that genre. What the heck is wrong with the 40K set? It's not ruining your Magic lore. Your Magic lore was all made up anyway, and it's still there. They're saying the concept of this is that it's branching out into other fantasy IP. Lord of the Rings and Warhammer 40K have an incredibly huge audience. If you're upset about your Magic lore being ruined, you're missing the point. The point is there's a lot of people that know about those fantasy IPs that don't know about Magic. The same with Walking Dead. There was somebody that saw the announcement for the Walking Dead Secret Lair and was like, and they saw it because they're a Walking Dead fan, and they were like, huh, Magic. I used to play that in middle school. They're still doing that. Sure, maybe Planeswalkers are going to jump in there too, but also maybe they're not. I can't wait to attack with Sauron, block with Rick, and activate my Wah! And some people will say that I'm excited about this because they're going to IPs that I'm interested in. I'm very interested in Warhammer 40K. I'm very interested in Lord of the Rings. I'm very interested in Dungeons and Dragons, the Forgotten Realms set. But I also wasn't very interested in Godzilla. That's not my thing, but it's somebody's thing. I wasn't that interested in The Walking Dead, but that's somebody's thing. And it doesn't ruin my game to be playing cards with that. So my hot take is this is incredibly good for Magic. This will sell a lot of cards. It will get us new and exciting sets. And I'm more excited about the announcement of a Warhammer 40K set than I have ever been about any Magic announcement ever. Like, you don't have to like it, but somebody's going to be thrilled about this. And if the product isn't for you, get over yourself. Heck yeah, dude, I'm glad you liked Godzilla. And the Godzilla cards didn't ruin the game for me. Young Trogdor was here a moment ago and said you liked Godzilla. Heck yeah, like you some Godzilla. It didn't hurt the game for me. It wasn't my thing. I thought it was kind of goofy and funny, but who cares? I had fun playing with the cards. Ikoria was great, and Godzilla didn't ruin it. So I think it's great that they're embracing this. So, like, going forward, it would be kind of weird to see Jace on the Eisenstein, you know, flying in with Typhus into the warp. That would be a little weird. I'm hopeful that they don't do something like that and that these would be self-contained and kept separate from Magic. It would be more like we're going to use the Magic system to allow you to play with these other fantasy IPs, which I think would be great. Too much mixing of it, I do think would be a little weird lore-wise. But like one thing that thank you for that, Tom. One thing that I always liked about how Blizzard makes games is they focus on making the game fun first and then worry about the lore afterwards. And I would encourage you, if you're like, oh, but Magic's unique IP that's been there since the beginning is falling apart, go back and read the flavor text on some of those beginning cards, because they were all Shakespeare quotes. And like, get over yourself. That's my hot take. This is incredibly good for Magic. This will get more people interested and give us more fun places to play Magic. How can that possibly be bad? As long as I can draft the 40K set, just shut up and take my money. I will play it all day. And if you disagree, you're wrong. You're bad. Get over it. Stop gatekeeping the hobby. Let people have fun. Shh. If you don't like it, don't buy it. And that's all I have to say about that.